In this video, I'm going to be looking at the laws of indices for A-level mathematics for all exam boards. So this is GCSE material, but hopefully we're going to put back into your minds what you should know from GCSE, because you don't want to be learning it wrong at GCSE and then come to A-level mathematics and learn it wrong. So we know if I put x dot x, I use dots for multiplication. I don't use x's to get confused with algebra. I know if I do x times x, I get x squared. Yeah? And I could add another x and I get x cubed, for example. However, what would happen if I change these to x squareds? And I have three x squared terms. Well, that's x dot x dot x dot x dot x dot x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is now the same as x to the 6. Well, I don't really want to be writing out long powers and then adding them up. I don't really want to be doing that. I want a shorthand notation, don't I? So, what you should know, so our first law, I'm going to write these laws in the top left corner of the board. So if I've got a to the p times a to the q, that is the same as a to the p plus q. That's our first index law. Okay, so we've done multiplying indices. How about dividing indices then? If I've got x cubed divided by x, for example, well, what's this? This is the same as x dot x dot x over x. What's common on the top and the bottom? I've got one x on top and bottom that's the same. I've still got two left. This is the same as x squared. Easier way? Well, x cubed divided by x, well that's just x to the 1, and if I take the powers I get x squared. So our second index law is if I have, I'll use the same letters, if I use a to the p divided by a to the q, I get a to the p minus q, like so. Alright, let's take it up a notch then. So let's see, how about if I did something with a bracket in it? If I did x squared cubed, how would we deal with that? Well, if we know that x squared, so x times x times x times x times x times x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got x to the 6 there, yeah? Now I don't really want to be writing all these out, so what I can do is use my shorthand notation to tell me that's x to the 6. Reason being because these powers will multiply together. So if I've got a to the p to the q, that's a to the pq. As so. This should hopefully be ringing bells from GCSE. So, we've got that now. That's all well and good. Well, there's not just those. How about things like if I had a to the half, for example? Well, what we have to know is that if I've got a to the half, that is the same as the square root of a. So if I've got something as a to the 1 over p, like so, that is the pth root of a, like that. So if I've got a to the quarter, that's talking about the 4th root of a, or whatever this base number is here. Okay, so we've got 4 index laws so far. We've got multiplying, dividing, expanding out brackets, and we've got one with a fraction in. Well, how about we have negatives? So let's stick with the minus, let's stick with the half, but let's put a negative in front of it. Well, if I've got a negative, that is 1 over a to the half, which is 1 over the square root of a. And you can rationalise the denominator if you want to. I'm not going to do here because it's what a to the minus a half actually is, so I don't need to bother with that at the moment, but you could if you was being pedantic about rationalising the denominator. I'd say that word. Anyway, so if I've got a to the negative that is, if I've got a to the minus p, that is 1 over a to the p. Okay, like so. So we've got at least 5 index laws we can be using here. Well, let's make it a bit more complex, because at A-level mathematics, in A-level, we need to be able to combine these together. If I've got, for example, let's have, I don't know, 6, not 6 actually, let's have 9 to the 3 halves. How would we deal with that? Well, the way that I would deal with that is by saying, well, this is the same as 9 to the half cubed, because a half times a 3 is 3 halves. Well, 9 to the half is the same as the square root of 9 cubed. Square root of 9 is 3, so I've got left 3 cubed, which is 27. Check that on a calculator if you really want to, but you should know your square and cubes by now. So what we've got so far is we've got all the laws of indices, we've done an example of combining them together, and we've explained where all these laws can come from and how they appear to each other. So in the next coming videos, what I'm going to be able to do now is show you ways of combining more of these rules into more complex questions, and hopefully you should be able to get through a lot more of these at a quicker pace. Index laws is something that is rigorous and needs some rigorous practice to be able to get good at these, because some people in year 13 still struggle with the laws of indices, and we should be good with those as we look at the laws of logarithms, which we'll get to in the next video. So thanks for watching, and hopefully this has cemented some knowledge.